Hi everybody, Angel here with confidencessketchy.com. Thanks for tuning in. Happy Sunday afternoon. And for those of you who have not been here before, my name's Angel. I own a website called confidencessketchy.com where we try to link people up with information on how to build confidence in their lives if that's what they're looking for. For those of you who've been here before, thank you for tuning in. Today we're going to continue our Catch This series for 1 month series in the month of April leading up to a live conference. And on Catch This, we're talking about the principles of building confidence over time. Yesterday we started talking a little bit about courage. And today I'm going to expand upon that thought because as we talked about yesterday, nothing good comes from just waiting around. You do have to act. You do have to move. You do have to do something in the pursuit of your goals. And sometimes the things that we need to do in order to move forward would be considered gutsy or a little bit chutzpah is required. A little bit of courage is required in order to get you moving. And so I encouraged you yesterday to think about the things that you are avoiding doing and finding a little bit of courage, just a tiny little bit of courage in order to move you forward. Because then what happens is a snowball effect where one thing leads to another, and before you know it, things don't seem quite as hard. Now, sometimes people say to me, oh, I'm really not that confident, or I'm really not that courageous, I'm not that brave, I'm kind of shy, I'm kind of this. They have a lot of words to describe why they are unable or why they think they are unable to move forward in a particular direction. And I think part of that is not so much a lack of courage or a lack of being brave or a lack of even being able to do so. I think a lot of time we're just lacking the motivation. We haven't seen enough benefit in doing so for us to feel like the effort or the overcoming the fear is worth the investment of time or energy or money or whatever is required, right? And so today, what I want to reframe for you a little bit is that these obstacles that we put up for ourselves, that things are not possible, we think that we're not brave enough to do what we need to do, or we don't have the courage to make the phone call or to send the email or to ask for what we need. When we are in that place where we're afraid of whether it be rejection or that someone's going to say no, we tend to just kind of convince ourselves that the courage that we need in order to put ourselves out there is not worth the payload that we get back, right? So we don't take that first step. We don't ask the question. We don't ask for it. We don't ask a question that allows someone else to say yes or no because we're afraid of the no. And so we act a little bit less courageously or not courageously at all by not moving, by not doing anything. And so yesterday when I said, what are you procrastinating about? What could you do one tiny little action towards your goal that would allow for that snowball effect to happen? The courage comes from knowing that in doing that small little act, although today you might not actually find success in that one act, that if you continuously kind of hit that button over and over again, right? If you continuously try that just little tiny bit of courage, you will find that over time, making that more of a habit will become easier. The outcomes will come more naturally. The yeses will come more frequently. And obviously you'll start moving towards your goal. I have two quick stories to share with you about this. Over the last couple of days, I mentioned 2 days ago that I was very, very busy sending emails on Friday to a variety of different business people asking if they might want to get involved with our conference in some way, and that I was expecting most of those answers to be no. I was not wrong. Most of them were no, not at this time, or no, I can't do it, or I'm not available, or I'd love to, but there's some reason why I can't do it that particular weekend, whatever the case may be. But I did get the one yes. I did get one yes so far, and I was really excited about it because it's somebody that I love and that I very much want to be a part of what I'm doing, and somebody I've known for quite a long time in the business world. So I was really thrilled today to get an answer of a yes, not only because it's a yes, because everyone loves to hear yes more than no, but because it was somebody that I really felt like would be a great fit for what we were doing. So if I hadn't had the courage to send those emails on Friday, and believe me, I knew most of them would be no. So I knew what I was doing was going to be getting a lot of negative, quote unquote, feedback. But the courage to do that comes from the motivation that I knew that there was some business out there, one of the people that I knew that had a business that really needed a little extra exposure for her business, really needed to get her name out in front of some new customers, and really wanted to be a part of something bigger, but just hadn't found the time or her motivation to go looking for something. And so here it is. I found one person, I'm sure there will be more, that was like, yeah, this is a good opportunity for me. This is an easy fit for me. She is making it easy for me. And she had the courage to say yes, because I had the courage to ask. Now, the other little story is that, as I told you, I was reaching out to businesses in the area of where our conference is going to be. And in the snowball effect that we talked about, had the courage to ask a business if they'd be interested in hosting an after party. That turned into lunch because they knew somebody that was a food truck, and that's what I wanted. So we kind of like snowballed this into exactly what I had originally hoped for. And leaving room for that was something that I was very conscious of over the couple of weeks I've been planning, to leave room for some magic to happen. And we've actually talked about that on other live streams as well, to don't be so rigid with your outcome in your mind that you don't leave room for people to amaze you with coincidences that are way better than what you would have actually found on your own. And so all of that goes back to, though, the motivation, right? Because had I not found the courage, I would not have found these things to come into place. Where does the courage come from? The courage comes from the motivation. And obstacles in our way are merely the stuff that motivation is made from. So think of the obstacles that you've run into in the course of your life. Sometimes we let those obstacles stop us, but most of the time, even if we let them stop us temporarily, we tend to turn those obstacles into motivation over time. I kind of liken it to like taking coal and pressing it into a diamond, right? Those of us who have in our lives been bullied or beat down, or stuff has not gone our way and we found obstacles in our life, tend to later on look at those experiences and look at those darker times in our life as the motivation to do more and to be more and to give more and to live more fully. And so I don't necessarily think we need to be looking at obstacles as like, oh my God, I can't do it. It's more like, maybe I can't do that today, but it's feeding that motivation machine for later, as I'm going to find a way around this. It's like the motivation to get around, over, under, however we can get around the obstacle. The obstacle itself, if it wasn't there, we wouldn't find our motivation to move. And we know already from what we've talked about the last couple of days that the movement is where the magic starts to happen. But you have to have the courage to begin the movement to get around the obstacle that is your motivation. Do you see how it all ties together? So when we get to a point where we're worried about courage, just think about, okay, I have this obstacle. I need to get around it, under it, over it. That is the seed of the motivation. And the motivation is what's going to bring you to the point of having the courage to make that tiny little step, or sometimes a really big leap, depending on the situation. But even if it's just a tiny little step to work towards your goal, to put some effort into that goal, it's giving you the reason to do it. So take that really seriously. Think about your obstacles. Figure out how you can look at them as motivators and use that to find that tiny little bit of courage. So for today, I hope that helps you find some courage so that you can move forward in whatever it is that you're endeavoring to do. And I hope that you will think about joining us at the end of the month on the 29th for the Constructing Confidence live workshop, as a lot of great things are coming together for that. And I'd love to be able to share more about these concepts with you in a live format. So for today, I'll let you go. Have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you again tomorrow as we talk more about courage. Have a great day.